Okay, so this is the first problem जो हम करेंगे and this is my first video, so अगर कोई mistakes हो जाती है so please ignore. So yeah, uh, so ये problem हमको दिया है max area of an island 695, it's a medium problem. So इसमें we are given an m cross n binary matrix grid. So like हमको ये grid दिया है, ये m cross n का है, इसमें m rows and n columns, right? So अब an island is a group of ones connected directionally. You may assume all four edges of the grid are surrounded by the water. So like all four edges of the grid are surrounded by the water. So any ये जो चार edges हैं ये surrounded by water है. And उसके अलावा island जो है that is connected, a group of connected ones, and it should be connected in four directions, either horizontal or vertical. So like for this island, this one basically, if we have one in this position, this position, this position, or this position, basically a plus, right? So if we have a, like if we have one here, one here, one here, and one here. So basically these four are the neighbors, four connected neighbors for this cell, right? So अगर ऐसे वन कनेक्टेड होगा, इसके अराउंड वो वन कनेक्टेड होगा तो वो उस आइलैंड का पार्ट होगा, ठीक है. एंड द एरिया ऑफ एन आइलैंड इज़ द नंबर ऑफ सेल्स विद वैल्यू वन इन द आइलैंड. सो लाइक जैसे यहाँ पे अगर ये वन कनेक्टेड है इतने, यहाँ पे इतने सारे, ठीक है. सो वन कितने हैं इधर, 1 2 3 4 5. सो ये द आइलैंड, द एरिया ऑफ द आइलैंड वुड बी 5 हियर. And what we need to do is we need to return the maximum area of an island in the grid. So like ये एक island है, 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 ये एक island है. तो maximum area किसका है, तो इसका 4, इसका 5, इसका 4, इसका 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6, इसका 5 और इसका 1. सो मैक्सिमम इज़ 6. सो वी नीड टू रिटर्न 6 बेसिकली. सो ये है क्वेश्चन. इट्स अ क्लासिक ग्राफ का DFS प्रॉब्लम एंड ईज़िली सॉल्व कर सकते हैं इसको आइदर. बट अगर किसी को ग्राफ के बारे में नहीं पता है, ग्राफ के कॉन्सेप्ट्स नहीं पढ़े, तो मतलब तो उसके लिए डिफ़िकल्ट होगा. बट अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट इट्स क्वाइट ईजी. ओके, सो लेट्स डाइव इनटू द कोड डायरेक्टली. सो लाइक सॉल्व करने के लिए हमको पहले एक विजिटेड वाला एरे लगेगा कि मतलब ये सेल हमने विज़िट कर लिया, अब हम हर सेल को विज़िट करेंगे. तो हर एक सेल हमने विज़िट कर लिया है, उसके लिए हमको एक एरे चाहिएगा बेसिकली. तो लाइक हम विजिटेड एरे यहाँ पे डिक्लेयर कर देते हैं ऊपर ही. सो नाउ व्हाट वी डू इज़ इसको इनिशियलाइज करना पड़ेगा हमको with okay. So for that we need to know the m and n values, right, for the grid. So int m would be equal to the grid dot length, int n would be equal to grid 0 dot length. Now initialize visited with new int m comma n, right? So now what we'll do is we'll loop through each of the grid cells. So for int j equals 0, j is less than n, j plus plus. So now what we'll do is we'll check that if there is a 1, so for a 0 we don't really need to check if there is an island or not. If the value of the grid cell is 0, then it's automatically not an island. So what we'll do is we will check if the grid, basically the cell which we are at, is equals 1 or grid equals 1 and visited I j is equals 0. So like we need to check that first of all the grid cell should be 1, right? Secondly, we need to check that if we have not visited this cell before. So if we have visited this cell before, then we don't need to check for it again. So here we will basically call DFS like for grid I with the value of I and j here. So yeah, so we'll write our DFS function here, like int DFS. So int I, we need one int j. Okay, so now we need to check is like for now what we'll do in DFS, what we'll do is we'll check for each and every neighbor of a cell. So like if this is the grid cell, then we need to check if this is one or not, if it's pilot, if it's a part of the island or not. If it's a part of an island, it's a part of an island, it's part of the island, and it's part of the island, right? So we need to check for each neighbor for the cell which we call the DFS function for. So if you can see, like for this cell, there won't be any possible neighbor here, and there won't be any possible neighbor here. It will only have two neighbors here and here. And similarly for this cell, it will only have these two neighbors and no these two neighbors. Also, if like we see for this cell, then it would have these three neighbors and not no neighbor for this portion, right? So yeah, so for that we need to see that for the I which we are calling this function on, so I should, if the I is less than 0, so it's not a valid I, right? If j is less than 0, then again it's not valid. If I is greater than equal to m, so m is the length, m is the number of rows. So if assuming, okay, this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, so if so the number of rows is 8, so indexing would be from 0 to 7 respectively, right? So if the I value is equal to m, that is it's equal to 8, then it will go here. So we don't need to check for that grid cell. So if it's greater than equal to m, and similarly for the j values, if it's greater than equal to n, so we'll basically return something, right? Like let's do just return 0 right now. So we'll return it. We don't need to check further for it because they are invalid cell, right? So yeah, we did first check for invalid cell. So now next check what we need to do is that if the grid cell is visited or not. So if the grid cell is already visited, then we don't need to check for it again, right? Also, if the grid cell contains like if the grid cell contains 0, so again for that we don't need to check. So what we'll do is we again return 0. So like if the grid cell contains 0, so it's not an island, so we don't need to check. If it's already visited, if it contains 1 but it's already visited, for that also we don't need to check. So for that also we'll return 0. So now we know that right now we are in a valid grid cell. So first what we'll do is first we'll update the entry in the visited table that okay, we have visited this cell, right? So it will become 1. Now what we'll do is we need to check for its 4 neighbors. Like if we consider for this cell, then for this and this, we need to check for 4 neighbors. So what we'll do is we can initialize one array for I iter as like -1 1 0 0, and for j also similarly j iter equals to 0 0 -1 1. And now what we'll do is we'll loop through this values. Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll call DFS on all of these neighbors. So right, for that we do is we call grid or DFS on grid, and what we do is I plus I iter k and j plus j iter k only. So what this will do is basically like it will call DFS on grid I plus I iter 0 would be -1, and j plus j iter 0 would be 0. So it will call dfs for it will call dfs for dfs grid I minus 1 and j. So for this cell it would be this neighbor, right? And for the next iteration it will call for I plus 1, as we have plus 1 here and 0 here, so it would be this neighbor. Now for the third iteration I plus 0, and for j it would be minus 1. So basically it would call for I same row and the previous column, and lastly for the next column. So this is how all the 4 neighbors would be covered. So now what we need to do is we need to come up with some idea by which we can store the information of the area of that island which we are traversing on right now. So like if we are on this island, so what we need to do is we need to count this one, and then for next call we need to count this one for this and this. So we need to basically return 4 for this island, right? So what we'll do is we'll initialize one area equals variable to 0. So like if we encounter 1, then we are going into this DFS call, right? If we encounter 1 here in the grid, so initially the area would be 0. Now what we'll do is we'll pass this area also in this function, and like, so initially we passed area equals to 0. So now after checking that we are in the valid cell, so basically we would go from here to here. So what we need to do is we need to increment our area pointer by 1, because we were here and then we found another 1 in the neighborhood, right? So area would be greater than like it will increase by the factor of 1. So now we know the area. So similarly for this cell it would go to 3, for this cell it would go to 4. But now we have reached the limit, and there are 3 zeros in the neighbor and 1 is already visited. So we also need to remember this value of 4 again, right? Because we'll go on a backward calls. So what we'll do is we'll update the value here on the area. So what this will do is that if the area increases, so initial area is 0, so when you come here it's a valid cell, the area becomes 1. Then what will happen is when you go to this next cell, so like for this cell right now, the next call would be of I minus 1, which would be returning, oh yeah, we need to return area also here also, because if it's an invalid cell then we need to return the last area which we calculated, right? So for this cell we'll check for this, so it's not a valid option, so it would return the current area which is 1 as of now. Then it would call for this cell plus 1 and j 0, so it would get 1, all this condition would be satisfied and area would become 2. Now on this cell, firstly it will call for this one, this neighbor, but it's already visited, so it will return the area which is now 2. That's why we need to pass this area variable in this function, right? And that area becomes 2. Now this on this cell we call this value, but this is 0, so it will again return 2. And then we'll call this value, it will also again return 2. Now we'll go lastly, last call would be to this cell. So when we go to this cell, all these conditions will be passed and we will get area equals to 3. So now for this cell, similarly we'll check for this value, this value, this value, and this value. Again we'll get a valid cell, then we'll get area equals to 4, right? So we'll get now we don't have any values to return, so this function call will return the final value which it got here. So in our case we are at this cell and our area value is 4, and we need to preserve that value, that the area value is 4. So what we'll do is, after doing it, so this function will return the area value because it passed everything and now all of these neighbors are checked, so it will now return 4. So this function now returns 4 to this function call, which is then stored in this area value. So here we returned 4. Now the area is equal to 4 for this call also. It will also return 4, we'll get 4 here. This will also return 4, we'll get 4 here. And finally for this cell, it will return the final area equals to 4. It's a bit difficult concept to grasp, but if you will perform dry running of the code, you will definitely get the hang of it. Yeah, so finally we'll get the area. Now what we need to do, we have reached here. So now what we need to check, that if the area returned here is maximum or some other area which was returned by some previous function. So what we'll do is we'll define one variable int max area, should be equal to 0 initially. So here we'll assign max area equals math dot max of the function, the area which we just returned, like this 4, or area of some other island which we already knew was maximum before it. So it basically find the maximum between the max area and the current area, and update the max area variable with it. Finally we'll return the max area which we got. So this should work. Let's see for this case. Okay, this is okay. Yeah, so we need semicolon definitely. I guess it should work now. Okay, cannot find. Oh yeah, we have not passed mn here, so either we pass the mn in this function or we can just calculate it again. N equals to 0 length. Okay, I guess this should work now. Okay, yeah, so we are getting an expected output 6, so let's submit it and see. Okay, so our code is working. So thank you. If you have any problem or any doubts regarding to this problem, you can definitely comment down below and I will surely answer your problem. So yeah, thanks.